Evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Pardon any lag. Just getting my screens pulled up here. I go live before I'm officially live to check the audio, which I should do right now. Since it just thinks its new purpose in life is to fight with me every step of the way. So let me make sure I can even talk to anyone before I get started. Oh, gotta select my own show. Myself. Live. Oh, there it is. Wait, go back. I saw it. Maybe. Let's see here. And pardon, I can't see the chat room just yet. Well, I'm on YouTube, of course. And then I use my chat room from Twitch. Since there are folks who watch my show but don't have YouTube accounts. Here. Is it good? And pardon, I can't see the chat room just yet. That's as good as it gets. With my audio equipment from 1932. And it did stay with me that entire last show, so I won't have to repeat any of the episodes I discussed last week. Yeah, what's up, Patrick? Glad you made it. Says, hi, Nikki. Hope you're well. Eving, Nikki Lee's. Like Frank Lee's, but yeah. Thank you. Yeah, doing all right, I guess. Doing okay. Oh, pretty good there. Good, yeah. How's the weather? We've been getting a little bit of snow here and there, and just sort of enough to get things icy and snow cover. Then it melts a tiny bit, and you can still get around town and everything, but it's still like, what is it right now? At like -5 Celsius? Oh, -6. Pardon me. It's supposed to get down to -11, and it's like every single day is below freezing, except for one. It's supposed to be at 8 Celsius, and probably rain. I'm sure whenever the weather like changes, you think it's going to change for the better, and then you realize what's going to fall from the sky, and you're like, oh. So there's that. I don't mind. I mean, like, I do mind the cold, but my equipment likes it, so it makes it easier to dress this way. I just wake up in the morning, turn the heat off, and freeze. Patrick, really cold here. Yeah, it's 75 Fahrenheit in the room, which is about 23 or 24 Celsius, which is like, it's fine for going outside hoodie weather, but if all you're wearing are the shorts and a long sleeve shirt and support, yeah, it's something. Like, I could not feel my toes the entire last time. They're so like chilly right now. I'm not gonna put on socks. Just gotta deal with it. So yeah, it's and I always end up being smaller in the wintertime than the summer, so it's like great. Everything feels so good. But yeah, just been just chilling. It's a weird week since it was just 3 days. Quite frankly, this last week, and then next week it's a regular 4 day week, but then the following 2 weeks are probably only going to be about 3 days because like we already know he's going to be off the 24th, 25th. If it's like last year, he'll also be off on the 31st and the 1st, and those are Wednesdays and Thursdays, so I'll be live then. So it's a short week, regular week, which is just 4 days, and then 2 day weeks. Oh my god. So yeah, it's kind of wonky with the time we get to spend in the chat room in December. Oh, pardon. So all that really means is a few more days freezing. Oh, it's Thomas Collins. What's up? Glad you made it. Just me freezing in my room while I lie on the heating pads with the blankets on me and watch YouTube videos. That's how the day goes. Just kind of bum around. There's no. I don't like to play video games when there's a time frame, like a time limit. I can't. I've never. Oh, we got 30 minutes. I can play. Oh, I got an hour and a half. I don't want to have to constantly be looking at the clock like it's a job. So I just want to sit down and play. So I don't do that on days I'm gonna go live. I don't review Dark Shadows either. You kind of have to get into a whole different kind of chill mindset to do that versus this you have to kind of be up for, if you consider this up. Oh, Patrick says about 60 Fahrenheit here, but it's just gone midnight. Yeah, oh, I guess that's warm for December, but oh no, yeah, that's not cool. Ugh. But like I say, the equipment likes it, so I don't have to sit here and sweat balls unless I get nervous, which I sort of always am now since I've got to worry about my equipment. But then you try not to think about it because you don't want it to affect your performance. So it's a whole it's it's weird to how things can be so you can be so tired and feel so just confused about what you're going to do, and it all comes together the closer you get to showtime. I don't know. I've never had that sensation at a job. Like, I'm the only person who can do this. I've got to be on top of my game. Like, if I was on top of my game at a job, it's because I was 16 and my back didn't hurt that bad and I just wanted to. But it's not like I get paid more for working harder at some jobs. So it's like, whatever. I'm here on time. I'm not making it worse. What the hell else do you want from me? That's a bad thing to say. I used to have such great work ethic, and back when everybody did their jobs regardless of color or age or size, and jobs aren't like that anymore. They won't even train you. So that's why businesses are so and no one talks to each other. So that's why there's no communication. It makes things hard. It makes things worse for the customer. Patrick, ooh, that's in my house. Fuel bills here have gone very high. Do you guys have to do this in England? When I was learning about Scottish stuff, they just seem to do this and they're okay with it. But you get one of those water bottles that you fill with hot water, and you know it's like kind of flesh colored, like the color of it is off putting. But you fill it full of hot water, and you put that lid on it, and then you just sleep with it, stay warm because it's that cold up there. Is it like that in England too? Like they do it like it's okay, like it's going to sleep with your teddy bear and your stuffed animals. But it's like, are you gonna get sick and die without it? That's not okay. It's too cold. What to go to? Glad you made it. What's up? Yeah, smash that like button right meow. It would be totally wild if this only took 2 hours. And I do see there's apparently Frank has something about going live at 8 p.m., which is just a little less than an hour from now, but it's a it sounds like they're having a Christmas party and he's just going to be like filming around in there or possibly having people in Studio A. I didn't know he was going to do that. Oh, Patrick said, yeah, hot water bottles are pretty good. Oh, sorry you guys have to do that. I would say sleep on a heating pad, but you shouldn't sleep on a heating pad. That's just, it's not even about getting electrocuted. It's more about you don't want your body to get used to that because suddenly if it's not there and you don't have a lot of weight on you, your body kind of freaks out at you and brand new ways you didn't know were possible. Like, why do I feel so, ill, physically ill? Nothing comes up, but you feel that way. Like, oh, maybe it's not right to have this, something the size of my torso and then sleeping on it from 11 p.m. to 3:30 in the morning or whenever I happen to. Oh, everything's still on. So, yeah. They usually have 2-hour timers. These don't, which is fine, I guess. I don't have circulation issues. I went to go to said, poor me. I had to watch Eyes Wide Shut all by myself. Oh, never seen it. Because of Tom Cruise, I will, skip his films on purpose. He's very overrated as an actor. Um, I don't need to see Nicole Kidman nude. I watched a movie called Dead Calm. It's got Billy Zane in it. He's not wearing a lot of clothes in it, which is good, but he's just his character is the worst kind of dude. I don't think I'm gonna watch that movie again. What's up, We Owe You Bill Cooper over on Twitch? How's it going? It also has Sam Neill from Jurassic Park. He was also Merlin, and Nicole Kidman. I wondered why she looked so different in that film. I think it's before she had a facelift. It's like, oh, this was raised up. It was before that. I'm like, why does she look so different? Oh, it's her original face. Wow. But you can really tell that the director was just like filming this stuff and jerking off to it. Just the way this woman is filmed, like the camera is in love with her. I get it, but I realize you got to run this stuff back at the end of the day. So I know this guy was just, pounding himself watching this stuff. But yeah, I've seen. Did she get naked in that? But there's nudity in that. I don't care. I don't care. Glad she got away from that guy that she was married to. I don't know what she's doing now. I never had a problem with Nicole Kidman. So, what happened last time on Dark Shadows? Let me just pull up the recap that I wrote earlier today. I haven't slept in case this does end up taking some extra time, so. I know I'm so chipper now. Okay, so last time, the recap anyway. So Matthew had admitted to Liz that he killed Bill, and then he also tried to kill Victoria. Then he ran off. And then later on, Victoria went missing. That never happens. So Liz sent Joe to go look for Carolyn, and he found her in Burke's room. And then those two went at it. Oh, one to go to says, Lily Sobieski is the only cast member I cared to see. Oh, yeah, she's in that. Okay. Like, I'd be... If I'm watching a Tom Cruise movie, it's for the entire cast except for him. Like, I'm trying to just, like, block him out and watch the other cast. Like, I don't actually watch a movie like that, but I'm certainly not going to waste my eyes focusing on that guy. Want to go to... I'm outside in shorts and a t-shirt. And shorts, putting up Christmas lights. It's, you know what? I'm starting to think you live in that town that they live in Edward Scissorhands. Like, why are you guys decorating for Christmas and there's no snow? I was a kid. I didn't understand that people celebrated Christmas in places where it didn't snow. So it was just very odd to see them decorating and a white Christmas tree. Blew my mind. Never seen that in real life before. But the fact that I'm like, oh no, it's so sad. They want to see snow so badly. They went so far as to buy a fake tree that's also white. Like just drive up to the mountains or something. Damn. But oh no, Florida. Like Santa Claus has to change into his shorts when he gets down to Florida. I get it. Yeah, so One to Go To officially lives in because they did film Edward Scissorhands in Florida. That's why you see the sky. It's white, it's blue, it's white, it's blue. They're constantly pausing for planes to fly over. Of course, I didn't make it into the film. Want to Go To Pleasantville. I saw that in theaters. I forgot that's a real town. Wow. So when a middle-aged woman has an orgasm for the first time, a tree bursts into flames. Patrick saying, like, gee, must be a lovely place where you live. Like, dude, it never snows there. That would be awesome. You can just, like, Give your winter coat away. So we are now on Dark Shadows, episode 118. This aired on December 7th, 1966. We're still in the 18th day. I'm going to warn you ahead of time. Something's going to start in this episode that I noticed right away. Didn't realize I was noticing it. And then it becomes a thing. So if you want to drink along to it, it starts at episode 118. But before that happens, we're still in that 18th day. And remember, Victoria has been caught by Matthew Morgan. He was staying at the old house behind. There's a bookcase that opens up like a door. There's a secret room behind it. He's got her in there. He's not going to let her leave. He thinks cops are out there. So in the intro, Victoria is saying that she's afraid this could be... She's like, I'm afraid this could be the last night of my life. It is looking really bad for her. I'm scared for her too. So we see in the drawing room, it's night, and it's Matthew. He's just pushing Victoria into that secret room and, closing the door behind her. There's just this thick rope for a handle. He just pulls that shut behind him. And there's nothing on the bookcase. It's not heavy. Well, we see that, then we go into the foyer at Collinwood, and we can see Victoria's bag, or her red plaid bag, and it has her initials on it, a V and a W, but they should have been printed the other way around, because it looks like M.A., like it's your mom's baggage. We just call her Ma, so we just put Ma on. They weren't quite thinking about that. Like, who's M.A.? Whose last name starts? Who is what? Did a character come on the show and we weren't? It's not that. It's just they should have done a 180 with that. And they still have not put some WD-40 on the wheels of that camera. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's getting close to Christmas and everybody's just trying to hurry up and rush. But like we can hear that. It's not as bad as it was in the last episode, but seriously, you got some bacon fat, grease, anything, it'll be fine. But they're just speculating about where Victoria could be. And Joe was saying that, Victoria might have just gotten lost on the ground somewhere. And this place stretches for miles. There's some tricky terrain. She could just... It's basically just a forest, so she could be anywhere. Well, Burke's like, well, why would she wander around? That Matthew was still missing. He could have returned and if found Victoria, and he's holding her somewhere. We better phone the sheriff. So Liz just gets right on the phone. It's like, yeah, lets him know what's going on, or bring some extra guys. Real quick conversation. She knows everybody in town. It's kind of like just like talking to your friend who's a cop. Then Burke says, well, we're going to go look for her, before the cops show up, because he's not going to wait around. Got any guns? Joe's like, that's a good idea. And Liz is like, oh, Roger's got some guns in his gun rack in the back. Based. Oh, what's up, John Rogers? Glad you made it. So Liz and Joe go back through the kitchen door. They're going to get the guns from the gun rack. I can't think of the word gun rack without thinking about that bit from Wayne's World. It just every single time. Over in the secret room behind that bookcase. Yeah, is there no grease or cooking spray for those wheels? It's so weird to be, taken out of it by the squeaking wheels. We're supposed to be scared for Victoria. It works, but it's a weird... It's weird to hop back and forth. But Matthew's pissed off. Like, you thought you could outsmart me. I was on to you all along. Victoria's like, I gave you plenty of time to go. You could have run to your car. they like the police, they're not, as silent and invisible. Like, you see they're not out there. And then it gets worse. Matthew lights up a cigarette. Like, it's not scary and cramped and cold, but now he's got a spark up. So now it's going to stink in there, too. But Victoria says, well, when Liz realizes I'm gone, she'll call the cops and they'll search this house. And Liz knows everything about Collinwood. She could know about this room. And then the cops will trap you here. It's like, you're going to lose your last chance to escape. So Matthew just walks over to that wall, takes some rope off of it, tells her to stand up. It's like, I'm going to tie you up, and I'm going to gag you so I can go check. So he does. He's got that up hanging. There was like some thicker rope on the wall and some thinner rope. That's what he grabbed. So it's, I don't know, diameters of ropes. It's enough to tie somebody up. It's not twine. It's not string. So, like hands behind her back, a gag, some kind of a handkerchief, something like that over her mouth. Goes through the door, bookcase. Every time he leaves the room, he's usually making a beeline for the bay windows, which are just basically across from the bookshelves, just so he can just look out, see if there's anybody out there, and there's not. Oh, where'd my pen go? There it is. Ugh. Gravity. After he looks out the bay window, he walks over to the front door. You can't see the banister in the shot. Don't mind that. It's not always going to be there. It's like it's way farther away from the wall than it's never going to be quite in that spot. So take a good look at it. You're never going to see it there. Here we go. In the foyer. I wonder if this is the shot too. Like, they do this twice that I can remember. I wish they wouldn't, because like they'll come back to, like, say the foyer, and it's Burke, and he's holding two shotguns, but he's not holding them off to the side. He's not holding them up. It's like both barrels are like this. Who was the cameraman that day? Like, you know what? I'm calling in sick. But he's holding them, both of them. And right away, this is what I noticed this. I started writing it down. I didn't realize I was noticing it. And then once I did, I just kept up with it. Trigger discipline. In real life, do not put your finger on the trigger unless you're about to fire. However, in TV and movies, to be dramatic, fingers on the trigger while they're looking through a room, while they're walking, getting surprised, like the finger, it's always there. I understand for dramatic purposes why they would do that. I see that, I kind of freak out. Treat every weapon like it's loaded, Alec Baldwin. So, trigger discipline violation on Burke. He's got his finger on the trigger, so if there's people behind the camera, I'd be nervous. I would not be standing there. Like, I'm going to go sit in my car for the scene. No. And Liz has the box there. Like, here's the shells. She calls them shells, too. So they got, both grabbing two, loading them up. Just a double-barreled shotgun. Yikes, Patrick, he said, I just nipped outside. It's 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, no. We owe you, Bill Cooper, cack for the Alec Baldwin comment. Yeah, I don't know the exact details of that, but he was the one who unalived somebody. Don't do that. I don't know what kind of weapon they had either. If it was like an automatic, I don't know if it was a shotgun, nothing like that. But yeah, always be careful. So Joe is, always practical. He's kind of the last person to get carried away with what's going on. He's just very like even like, well, let's just look at this logically, and he's just that type, which is good. You don't need someone who's excitable all the time. Joe's like, you know what, Victoria could just be lost. And so as they're heading out, like Liz is like, wait. So like right as they get to the door, she stops him. She's like, "Oh, wait a minute now. Victoria said that she lost her wallet and she thought she knew where it was. She took a shortcut over the fence," and she points. It's what does she say? It's past the greenhouse, through that clump of trees, and then she is pointing. Camera left. It's off that way. So then Joe's like, "Oh, well, okay, now they have a direction to go in." And Joe says, "Oh, well, should we split up?" And Burke's like, "I think we ought to stick together for now." Just imagine them both jumping at a sound and aiming at each other. Just like, no, we don't need that. So that's where they go. They head off, to the left. And Liz just leaves the front doors open. She's just that upset. Just front doors open, walks all the way into the living room. It did open up that window to look outside. So maybe it's nice. It's not. It's cold outside for this episode, but she's got everything opened up. It just does not bother her. Maybe the pills are kicking in. Who knows? And then we see the old house. It's the nighttime establishing shot. And Matthew's just out on the porch, just kind of just looking around, scanning the area. You get the sense that when you step off of the porch, it's just like there's a bit of a clearing, and then just like trees and trees and bushes and trees. So you're just kind of, it's nighttime, so you're just looking for shadows and just anything moving at all. Really paranoid, listening for any sounds. And then we see it's Joe and Burke, and they're going through the woods, just. Now we do see it a trigger discipline violation on Joe, so they're both. Yeah, they should not have split up. I'm glad they didn't, because they're just one trip away from getting off of the show. Back in that secret room, it's Victoria. She's tied up. She's scared. Squeaky wheel from the camera that kind of takes us out of it a little bit. Use that for your performance. But Joe and Burke finally get to the fence. And, they're looking around. They don't see anything. They don't see anybody. And Burke just starts hollering for Vicky. And Joe just kind of looks at him like, don't waste your time. He's like the wind is carrying your voice in the opposite direction. Burke's like, yeah. And Joe's like, she must be freezing. So we do get the sense like they got their coats pulled up and like the collars pulled up. And we do hear the wind blowing, so it's cold out there that night. But they don't say anything, they don't hear anything. But Burke looks down. He's like, oh, look at this! It's just a little piece of cloth. He's like, that could be from Vicky's dress. And at this point, I realize I have no idea what this girl is wearing. As much as I look at clothing, there's just something about my brain that if somebody were to go missing, what were they wearing? Just a shirt and pants and shoes. Go find them. So I couldn't tell you if that's the same color as the dress she's wearing, because she's got a coat on there in the secret room. But okay, we'll go with that. Sure, I can't prove that it's not. So Burke asks where the old house is, and Joe's like, it's about a quarter mile away. All right, let's go there. So over at the old house on the porch is Matthew. He goes back inside and goes over to the back into the secret room. He always closes the door behind him. And he takes the gag off of Vicky's mouth. There she is saying, I told you there was no one out there. Do you believe me now? Matthew says, I'll make a run for it. And I'm taking you with me. In case the cops try to shoot. Like, you're going to be my human shield. Come on. Here we go. We're in the woods. There's Burke aiming right at the camera. You know what? Yeah, do shoot that camera for all the noise it's making, but there's somebody behind it. That's the other thing, too. You have to think about what's behind what you're shooting, and they're just not. Just checking the notifications. Yeah, that's okay. I said, yeah, shoot that wheel. I understand they're being dramatic, but somebody had to... like, do you aim the camera and just off to the side? Like, did they have Kevlar back then? It's that dangerous to be a cameraman. Holy shit. I need my hazard pay for this. But anyway, back in that secret room, Matthew's saying how the cops will be less likely to shoot at him if they see he's got a hostage with him. He's going to have her in the car so he can get into the carpool lane and drive out of town faster. And he's saying, I might leave you miles away in the woods, far away from a phone. Just drop her off somewhere. But he's like, I gotta go one step at a time. Just come on. So he grabs her up from the chair, and they go into the drawing room. This is what I know. I make a big deal about the corner of that room because we can't see it later on, but there's nothing there. It's just the corner of the room. There's no furniture. There's no plant. There's no pictures. It's just where they come together at. I don't know why we couldn't see that more often in color episodes, but how many times am I going to drop my pen? That's twice. But just as they're in the drawing room there, this is when Burke and Joe show up at the old house, standing there by the front doors. So inside, Matthew's like, do you hear something? And that's when you hear Burke calling Vicky's name. So Matthew right away, hand over her mouth, drags her back into the secret room. And as soon as that door gets closed, that's when Burke and Joe come in the front door. And just like, Burke has never been here before. Joe's been here before, when he was younger, but he's not, visiting once a month or anything like that. But it just looks deserted with the cobwebs and the furniture knocked over, and just a couple of broken windows and everything. So Burke's like, well, will you check upstairs and be careful? I'm going to look around down here. The stairs! We haven't seen the stairs before. There's Joe using them. This is as much as the old house gets used later on. It's fun to see it used for the first time. They're real stairs. You can put your weight on them. There's a banister. So, Joe's out of the room, so Burke's just sort of looking around. He goes up to that bookshelf. There's not much on it, like a couple of books just falling over. Nothing's orderly about it. There's something metallic up there. Is that a bell? It almost looks like one of those call bells from like a hotel, or maybe a bell that you ring. It's some kind of metallic, random ass stuff up there. But as he's looking at that stuff right on the shelf, on the other side, there's Matthew, and he's hand over Victoria's mouth to keep her quiet. They're that far away. That sucks. You're that close to being rescued and you can't say anything. That's, oh my, I cannot imagine. But over there in the drawing room, we see a light that we're supposed to think that the portrait is glowing, but what they're doing is just turning on a light above that picture of Josette, so it lights up. And like she's a white lady wearing a white dress, so if you put light on it, it's gonna look even brighter. So that's where we get that effect from. If you're not thinking about the lights above the stage, you would think it was glowing. So good for them. But it lights up, it dims. Just then, Joe comes back downstairs and just alone, couldn't find anybody. We get a really good shot of the foyer and the old house that we don't usually see. Like, you really do get the sense they didn't know they were going to use this set that much later on, so we're just getting angles that we are never really going to get to often. Uh, that's fun. I get a notification that Frank goes live in a half an hour, and then 7 minutes later, it's it's not an episode of Quite Frankly. He's having a office party in the studio. Um, I'm not gonna know any of those people there. Uh, no, this is actually hilarious. I don't know if we've seen over there yet, but I know the layout of this room. So, because Joe comes back into the drawing room, Burke is not there. But then Burke steps into the room from a place that has no door. He's not coming from the entrance, into the foyer of the old house. He's not coming from down the stairs. We haven't seen it yet. There is a basement door. He's not coming from that direction, which is basically just from the camera. If we're looking directly at the entrance door, the door to the basement is behind us. We haven't seen that yet. He's not even coming from that direction. The direction he's coming from is a corner of the room. When normally you come down the stairs, there's it's a wall, and then you immediately hang a right, and then you're in the foyer proper. There's no door there, but they sure do have. I watched it a few times. They sure do have the actor just walk on in as if there was a door there. It makes no. It maybe it'll make sense to you if you haven't seen the rest of the episodes, but I have, and I'm like, he can't do that. Is he a magician? This has never come up before. They haven't really brought up. They brought up spooky stuff, but not magic. So like, what are we supposed to think? William Cooper over under on pen drop is 2.5 keck. Oh, I'm not a betting person, but yeah, the Vegas odds. But yeah, Burke enters from a wall in the corner of the room. There's no door there. And of course, like Joe's not expecting that, so he turns around, just you sneak up on a guy with a gun. Don't like, hey, I'm coming your way. Just no, he doesn't say anything. He's just there, and like, don't give him a heads up. But Joe was saying that he searched all of the rooms upstairs, nothing. So they figure that by now the cops are in the woods looking, so they ought to go out there and go join them. Like, yeah, can't do anything else in here. So over in the foyer, Burke kind of stops. He's like, wait, how much do you really know about this house? Joe's like, well, him and Carolyn used to come there exploring when they were kids, but he doesn't remember too much about it. So Burke's like, there could be closed off sections of this place, and, Liz knows this place better than anyone. I think we should ask her and then check again. Joe's like, yeah, good idea. Cool, let's go. So we hear them leave from inside the secret room where Matthew's still got Victoria, just hand over her mouth. So she's just listening, her way of escape. walk out the door. So, like, play Devastated by Space Cowboy. Just, oh my goodness. I would be so upset. So back over at Collinwood at the front door. Now Liz has a coat on just over her shoulders. Like, they don't close any windows and doors. She's just too upset. She needs the fresh air. But they come walking up. Did you find her? And no. Are there any closed off rooms or like storage in the attic or downstairs in the basement? And it's like, I can't think of one place. Back in the drawing room at the old house, that, Josette's picture, lights up again. And then, lights go back down. And it's, Burke's in there and he just looking around with the shotgun. And he thinks he hears something. And he aims at the door. Oh, there's Joe just got back. Oh. So while Joe went up to go ask Liz a question, Burke just went outside for a hot minute, comes back inside so we can be inside for when Joe shows back up so we can scare him and almost get shot. So it's twice now. Twice. All that time on boats, dick about guns. And that's another thing, too. The word gun can mean a revolver. It can mean a shotgun. It can mean a musket. Sometimes they specifically say what it is, but in general, when they say gun, they just mean a boomstick. It does not matter the size of it, the age of it, or nothing. So, like, what if they say gun, you're thinking gun, and suddenly they got both arms involved. You're like, whoa, it happens multiple times. So it could be a cannon. But yeah, Joe's back. Quit sneaking up on each other, damn. But Joe's like, yeah, I talked to Liz, and she said there's a storm cellar, and the entrance is out back. We haven't searched that. Burke's like, I was just in there, broke the lock. Just full of a bunch of musty old junk. Anywhere else we can check? Joe's like, no, the sheriff showed up with over a dozen guys about 20 minutes ago. Burke's like, yeah, let's go join them. And as they're walking out, Victoria just screams, just has, I don't know exactly how she gets her head away from Matthew's hand, but she calls out for Burke. Like, right as they leave, she's, screams his name, and Matthew just throws her down on that mattress there in the corner. Like, he's like, that was real dumb. And then for the credits, we can see from the stairs, like we're looking over the banister, into the drawing room. And I tell you what, this entire episode, I really hope that they're friends, because all Victoria's done has been, like, tossed around the set or just, like, held up against this dude for the entire episode. So, like, you're either getting thrown around or you're getting hugged from behind. So I hope they were friends. What's up, Dusty Blue? Yeah, I saw Frank has, it's like he's got I was going to say Halloween party, a Christmas party in the studio, and then I assume it's going to be like what he did for the meetup, where he did go live for a little while that night. I didn't see that, and then one of the guests was wearing white, so I wouldn't have stayed for that anyway. I don't know any of those people there. It's not a regular episode of Quite Frankly. I really want to do my show in 2 hours for a change, so I did not plan on going to that. That, and then, oh, the audio's staying with me. Thank you. Yeah. I felt beat up for days after I did my last show. Oh my god. That was, it's not the worst show I ever put on, but it's never taken me 4 hours to do a 2 hour show before. I don't know. I don't know. It's either going to be him like shaky cam around the room or him sitting in studio A interviewing. I can probably already guess who. And I don't. It's not like. Again, I don't. I won't know anybody there. So I hope they're having fun. Nothing gets broken. Um, yeah. If it was like a full on Saturday or show or something like that, I would have come on at an earlier time, but I didn't plan on stopping this for that. I understand if you want to check it out. I don't have to. I'm not forcing you to sit here. But yeah, I'm usually busy on Saturdays anyway. If he starts doing regular Saturday shows, that's not going to happen. Okay. Got through that. My equipment let me get through that. And besides, I don't want to stop this just to watch him go live for 20 minutes and I have to start back up again, so I don't think so. So episode 119 was December 8, 1966. And we are still in the 18th day. Well, it's nighttime in the woods. And we see it's Joe and it's Burke, and they're just off separately. They've got their shotguns. Like sometimes when they do walk with them, they do point them down, so they've got that going for them. One of them might have a flashlight, but just looking through the woods, looking through the trees, wind blowing, just searching around. Can't really holler for her because it's windy, so they're just gotta use their eyes to find her. But eventually they do kind of, cross paths. Joe says, your tracks are everywhere. You'd make a lousy fugitive. Burke says, want to bet on that? So Joe says, if Victoria heard you, she would have called out. Burke says, well, if Matthew's got her, there's nothing we can do. So over in the foyer at Collinwood, the clock chimes 1 a.m. It's day 19. And Carolyn, she's wearing a night dress. And she sees that Victoria's bag is on that middle table that's got the statue and the phone on it. And then she goes to look in the living room. Well, Liz isn't there. Sandwiches! There's sandwiches here. I didn't notice it at first. I had to go back. But there are. Because there's a coffee was made. Liz made coffee for, when the guys get back. And then there's sandwiches. It's like 3 of them. And then you cut them diagonally. And they're in a circle. But they're on a tray. I'll eat those. I don't know what everybody else is going to eat, but there's officially no sandwiches if I get into that room. Maybe 5, definitely 6. Somewhere I did. It's a few. But over at the front doors, there's Liz with that heavy coat. She's just coming back inside. And saying to Carolyn that she made some coffee. It's cold and damp out there. So they go into the living room, and Carolyn is saying that Matthew couldn't have come back. And Liz says, well, the sheriff says that all of the roads are blocked off. And Matthew's lived here so long, he knows more hiding places than David. So Carolyn just, Burke will find her. Liz says, you have a lot of faith in him. And Carolyn, shouldn't I? Liz says, you know my answer. And there's Carolyn. Oh, I knew this conversation was coming. Liz says, that's right. You can always count on the obvious. Burke is an obvious person. He's our enemy. And Carolyn, like, you're never going to sell me on that. So Liz says, I won't have to. He'll hurt you. He only shows you the man he wants you to see. If you looked at him objectively, you'd see that he's too old for you. You're still a young girl. And Carolyn just said, well, of course you see me like that. And then she goes on to say something like, well, when are you going to bestow the title of woman on me? And Liz is like, well, when you've earned it. So Carolyn says that, well, she'll be a woman when a man bestows that title on her, not another woman. Burke, Devlin. All of this happens real fast, but I had to stop it right here. We never really, folks don't really just come out and say this. Like we can assume, oh, okay, Liz has had a daughter, so she's had sex before. Mrs. Johnson, same. Roger, you get it. So anybody who's not married has never had sex before, unless it sort of comes up in conversation with another character. So, like, I assumed Carolyn was a virgin, like, by the way she acts. And just, nobody had sex before marriage back then on TV. But she's basically confirming, putting as fine a point on it as they can, that, like, no, she's not been with a guy before, but she wants Burke to be her first. That is so sad. But then she goes on. She's like, well, you can disinherit me, but I'm going to spend the rest of my life with him. It says he'll destroy you. So, a commercial come back. It's still... There's still that tension in the room. At first, I'm like thinking, Carolyn, go to bed. It's late, but she's waiting for Burke to come back. She wants to see him, so she's up. Liz is, doing her worried pacing back and forth as she does, and there's Carolyn more in the foreground. I think she has a magazine there it might be up on top of the piano, just one glossy magazine, just not even reading it, just kind of flipping through pages a little bit loudly, kind of looking over her shoulder back at Liz. Like, I don't want to have to be in the same room with you right now, but I can't make you leave. What time is it? So just then Roger pulls up. And he walks in. Liz meets him in the foyer, just asking if he's seen Victoria. Roger's like, no. Liz says, well, she's missing. Roger, don't care. Goes into the living room, heads to the wet bar. There's Liz right behind him. Well, you should care. Roger's like, you expect too much from me. He's the last person who's going to care about Victoria right now. And, there's Carolyn. She's awful, cocky, kind of not doing like a super lean on the piano, but she's still kind of leaning on it. Just has a smug look on her face, like I know something you don't know type of a look. And she gets around to telling, Uncle Roger that she was with Burke tonight. Roger kind of goes off a little bit. He's being so extra in this scene. That's why I didn't notice the sandwiches at first. It's a very good scene. But he's just going, like, how many times have they told her you get the, like, it's like, what else can I say to you to get you to leave this dude alone? And and that frustration's kind of coming out too. So Roger's kind of just reading her the riot act about just all these ways that he's just not appropriate to be around. And he gets around to saying, he's like, Burke is actually quite common. And he calls him predictable, and he's using you. And if he wins, he'll just discard you. And that's when Liz chimes in, like, did you know he bought the Logansport Enterprises today? And he celebrated with you tonight. So Carolyn just, it's like it's in one ear and out the other. She's like, well, you were happy when you saw him show up tonight. And you hate him so much that you made coffee for him? It's called manners, but they don't bring that up. Well, if you invite someone over, you're kind of supposed to offer them some hospitality. Nobody taught you that? I think David would even know that, but we're on to the next scene. We're in the woods, and it's Joe and Burke, and it's been a few hours since their fight, so Joe's just, yeah, sorry I hit you earlier. He said, it won't happen again unless I find a better reason to fight than Carolyn. And Joe just goes on, I don't know what she wants, but I know it's not me. Oof. That's harsh. But he said, let's just forget about it. I've said everything I'm going to say, so let's just leave it at that. And Burke's cool with that. Joe said his piece. He's not going to dwell. So we're in the living room. Carolyn's sitting at the piano. She's playing chopsticks. I don't know exactly where you start, but like you play the two white keys next to each other, and then you go out one and play those, and like chopsticks, she's playing that. So I wouldn't say she's canonically a pianist yet, but she knows her chopsticks. But it's a little bit annoying, so Liz kind of just looks at her, and she stops. But over in the foyer, the doors open up, the guys came back, and they're saying how they just searched everywhere. Walk into the living room, Roger's like, is that my gun? Hand that over. The Burke, hands it back over to him. Trigger discipline, Roger, because he gets the rifle from Burke, and it looks like it's the kind you have to like open in the middle to get the two shells out. But as he's opening it up, his fingers on the trigger. I can't believe I'm saying it. How does, like, isn't that, what if it goes off? Will the explosion be? I'm just thinking all the ways it could go wrong. Like, no. But that's what he does. I'm looking as hard for fingers on triggers as I am for dates on newspapers. So, it takes out the two shells, gets the other one from Joe. Joe's like, this is yours too. It's like, oh, thanks. And he unloads them both. So Roger's saying that for a teacher, Victoria is phenomenally stupid. And Burke objects to that statement. So Roger's like, look at you two, a couple of drama queens with your guns out, running around in the woods at night. Burke's like, well, there's a menace out there. It's like, and there's another menace I'm going to do a proper job on, just like he did to me. kind of saying it over Roger's shoulder while we see both of their reactions. So as he finishes up saying that, Roger was still holding that second shotgun. He grabs a shell and he puts one in there, just closes it back up. I've never shot a shotgun like this before. So later on, Carolyn she's excusing herself to go to bed and says goodnight to Burke and walks out of the room. So Joe follows her to the foyer. She's just up on takes a couple of steps up and Joe stops her. It's like, you didn't say goodnight to me. Carolyn's like, I told you goodbye. And I don't want to hear your apology. She's like, I wasn't going to apologize. You don't have to deal with me anymore. It's like, well, Carolyn just, put it in a letter. She's just being so childish with him right now. Like, she's too busy to... She's not too busy to stay up all night waiting for Burke to come back into the house, but suddenly she's too busy to talk to Joe like an adult for more than one sentence. So that's where she's at. Thomas Collins, yeah, bang bang, just oh man. You just it's been years since I watched Law and Order or Law and Order SVU, any of those. So I wasn't looking for trigger discipline back then, but I would imagine they're a little bit better at it than folks were on a soap opera in the 60s. I don't know how many hunting enthusiasts were making sure to be in front of their TV at maybe 3:30 p.m. during the week. I don't know. But, Carolyn says what she has to say, goes upstairs. So Joe's, done with her, goes back into the living room. That's when Liz offers Joe some coffee. I think he takes it black. There's sandwiches. Nobody takes one. Yeah, don't. Those are for me. But Liz doesn't think that Matthew would have gone far. He doesn't adapt well to change. So that's when Joe's thinking, well, let's just check the beach at daybreak when the tide's out. And maybe I can get some of the, fishermen guys to come help. So that's the plan for now. So Joe's out for the night. He takes off. So Roger says to Burke, he's like, you seem overly concerned about Victoria. So Burke says, your lack of concern is resentful. So if not for Matthew, I'd be suspicious of you. So Roger says, don't try to make Collinwood your search headquarters. Burke's like, no, I've got other plans for Collinwood. That's what Liz speaks up, like, hey, you're talking about business now. So anything to do with the cannery or the Collins family pertains to me. It's like, you're going to fail at bankrupting us. No one ever made money on revenge. So Burke says, I'll be the first. Roger's like, yeah, because you know every filthy trick in the book. So that's what Burke grabs him up by his, he's always wearing like a suit jacket. It grabs him up by the lapels, pushes him up against the doors for the living room open inwards. Pushes him up against one of the doors, the one closest to the wet bar. Burke says, I learned them from you. Lets him go. It takes back off. Goes out the door. As he's walking away, Roger goes in the other direction for the rifle and the shotgun. Picks it up, but there's Liz right in the way. He can't take more than about a step before she's blocking him. Like, you are not going to shoot this dude. And then we see the foyer for the credits. And the clock is still on 1 a.m. So they got a lot done in a little bit of time. Just checking. Ah, damn. Uh, Audio. And fiddling with my clothes. Is that me? No. So they got a lot done. Yeah, that's me. That's as close as we'll get. I wonder if any camera really picks up anybody's true voice. Or if everybody sounds a little bit different through a microphone. I know it's not a very good microphone. I just wonder about that. Deliverance, Private Security. Thomas Collins. That's one film. It's like people talk about it, but not a lot. It's a classic. The way people don't read classic novels, they just know of them. That's kind of how Deliverance is for me. I know of it, haven't seen it. Like I know a line from it. There's the dueling banjos scene. Yeah, I would check it out. I just haven't. It's probably not one you watch with the kids in the room. All right, episode 120 aired on December 9th, 1966. And we're still in that 19th day. It's morning now. And in the intro, Victoria is calling the old house the ghost house. Patrick says, sounds okay to me. Good, yeah. John Rogers has it on DVD. Oh, Thomas Collins really scary. Yeah, just, I'm sure that that's a movie you watch it, and it's like, oh, that's what they were referencing, and, oh, okay, right. I've heard reading Shakespeare for the first time. It's like that, like, that's where that comes from. Uh, oh, that's where that comes from. Okay. Uh, as long as no animals get hurt in the film, it'll go better than, yeah. If you do want to sit down and watch the film dead calm, I wish someone would have warned me. I'll put it like that. So what we see is it's the camera is on the front porch, but we're looking. There's these two broken windows, like and like we got like the front of the bay windows, and you got the two side windows. It's one of those side windows. It's got two panes broken out. That's where the camera is. And we can see the fireplace that's got Josette's portrait above it. And right across the way is the bookshelf. Can't wait for the cameras to improve. I feel like when we get color, it's like the sharpness goes up a little bit. But there's Matthew in the drawing room, comes up to the window so we can look outside, make sure coast is clear, nobody's walking up. And then he goes back in the secret room. That's Victoria. She's still, arms behind her back, gagged. And Matthew comes in saying that there's no one out there, just only the sounds of things that can't hurt me, like birds, like the wind blowing through the leaves, stuff like that. He's like, people can hurt me, and you. It's like, I won't hurt you unless you make me. And I'm gonna take that gag off. If you make one sound, it'll be the last one you ever make. And he hands around her throat. Like, she already can't. She's already gagged. You don't have to choke her out, too. Come on, man. It's like, that's what'll happen if you scream. And Victoria's just trying to say anything, to him. Just try to get him to, calm down and change his mind. Matthew's like, don't beg, it'll just piss me off. He's like, you just shut up so I can think. Victoria's very, shaky. She's very scared. She's just so agitated as anybody would be. The actress is doing a really good job. She's saying, like, I can help you. It's not my fault all of these bad things happened. Matthew's saying it was all right until you arrived here months ago and started snooping. Victoria says those things would have happened even if I never came here. Matthew, not so. I'm going to get away with what I did because I did it for other people. Victoria's like, I can explain that to people. I can help you. Matthew's like, they won't get a chance to punish me because they'll never find me. I'm smarter than people think. I've got food and water figured out. He grabs her hair, just trying to just get her to hold still. It's being so rough with her. It's like, if breakfast is on the way, I might let you have some. He just knows. He didn't look at a clock or nothing. Want to go to said I haven't seen Deliverance either, or The Deer Hunter. Oh, have I seen The Deer Hunter? I think I've just seen that one, scene. The Russian roulette scene. I don't think I've seen Deer Hunter either. We should do a watch party. Yeah, let's watch all of the creepy, disturbing films in a watch party. We're going to start with Quills from 2000. Jeffrey Rush, Joaquin Phoenix, Kate Winslet, Michael Caine. It's very easy. Nobody saw that film. It was me and not even 10 people in the theater. And if you want to buy it like used on DVD, it's $1 at the Exchange and other places. It's so easy to find. Doubt it's really going to be on a lot of streaming services. It is rated R for a reason. That's what I would start with, and start with something I've seen before. Yeah, what are the other bad ones? Deliverance, Deer Hunter. I've never seen Sophie's Choice. Let's watch Alive in the summertime. Uh, oh man. Thomas Collins, yeah, Liz was dispensing shells to Burke and Joe. Everybody run. Oh, Patrick says The Deer Hunter is a really good film. Thomas Collins says, I think Hunter matches the era. Aren't those both 70s films? Which 70s movies were just... It's not 60s films, it's not 80s films. Oh, Patrick, you have seen it. That's a good one, too. Quills, yeah, it's... Oh, man, that's what introduced me to Jeffrey Rush. Maybe I'd seen Joaquin Phoenix and some other things. Maybe not. I mean, like, I knew who Kate Winslet was. Spoilers, you get to see her tits. There. I killed all the suspense for you. Yeah, oh my god, it's so good. If you're a writer, even if you're not a writer and you just fancy yourself as one, you will like Quills. Maybe you won't like how everything turns out, but yeah, it's I saw it when I was 18. I had no idea what I was getting into. I knew nothing about what it was about except it was a movie about the Marquis de Sade. That's all I'm telling you. And it's in my top 5 of all time. Vietnam era Thomas Collins, yeah. It's 70s movies. It's like, I don't think anybody's really paying attention to what we're doing anymore. It's everybody's naked. It's filmed like whatever. Audio is iffy. Oh, John Rogers says Burt Reynolds was young in Deliverance. Oh, he's in that? Man. You watch him as an older gentleman. He's on an episode of Burn Notice. But he, like, did he have plastic surgery? He didn't quite look like himself. I'm like, that's him? But anyway, back in the dark shadows. Yeah, so Matthew was just saying that breakfast is on the way. Oh, I went to go to set Love Quills and Dangerous Liaisons. Oh, that second film. Oh, dangerous. I want to say it might be on Tubi. Oh, who's in that? Search faster. No, go to IMDb. Oh wow, Glenn Close, John Malkovich, Michelle Pfeiffer. Go there. Cast. Cast. Keanu Reeves. Okay, I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, I have not seen this. I went to go to a Southern Comfort 1981 action thriller, hour 46 minutes. Not bad. Oh, Thomas Collins. I remember Bert's poster smoking a cigarette. I'm sure if I saw it, it would jog my memory. But yeah, we're in Collinwood. We're in the kitchen. There is some actually, it looks like real food on the table there's some orange juice. Mrs. Johnson butters some toast. The stove is right in front of the camera. And she's telling David that Victoria disappeared, pours herself a cup of coffee. And she heard people calling Vicky's name all night long, and cops up here, so was Joe and Burke. And Burke was really upset. And David's just bummed out. Just, oh, well, I didn't know about any of this. They made me go to bed early. And then Mrs. Johnson lights a cigarette. Eating. He's got like eggs or whatever in front of him. He just toast. Lights up a cigarette. Everybody uses matches. I guess, having a Bic lighter was not a thing. Maybe they didn't. You had to like fill up lighters. Lighters did the thing where you had to fill it up and like it had the top and then you flick it like a Zippo. But everybody uses matches when they light cigarettes and candles. But there she is smoking right in front of his breakfast. And she said, "Oh, that'll be the last we see of Miss Winters. When people are carrying guns, death follows." Oh, on the table, there's like a little wicker basket type of one of those woven basket. It's got these big fluffy rolls or biscuits. Like it's bigger than the ones you get at KFC. And she's saying how, they think Matthew's got Victoria. David could have eggs on his plate. I really can't see. It's like the china's white, eggs are white. But David's saying, now Matthew wouldn't hurt a fly. I trust him. It's Mrs. Johnson. Oh, yeah? You trust the ghosts of the widows. A fine judge of character you are. And then they're searching the body for her beach right now. And there's a few just, plates on the table. She just takes a little stack of those and takes them off camera. So I guess that's where the sink is. So somewhere where we can't see. We hear water running. Patrick said Kate Winslet is excellent in The Reader. Well worth a watch. Kate Winslet's a great actress. Even when she keeps all of her clothes on, she's good. John Rogers says, I have 2 Zippos, great for emergencies. Man, I've not had a Zippo in so long. I've got lighters, I've got matches. I might even have some store matches. Basically, a store match is when, like, if the match is that long and the wick is that long, it's like most of it. So as Mrs. Johnson's just out of the shot, I couldn't really imagine. Maybe the sink's just in this little corner by itself. But we're never going to see over there. There's just running water over there. But she's not that far away. So that David just walks up to the cabinets, opens up a drawer, takes out a brown paper bag, and he just starts loading it up, just opening up drawers. And now we can see some stuff. There's cornflakes up there. They've got grape nuts. One box just says pretzels. Hell yeah. That's in the first cabinet there. He just opens it up. There's just random cans and boxes that don't really have like names on them or words we can read. I guess those are rolls because he goes up to that little bread basket there, that woven basket. He takes two out, so maybe that's their rolls and not biscuits. And then as he's gonna go, he notices Mrs. Johnson left her cigarettes and her matches there, so he just takes those and puts them in his. Instead of putting them in the bag, he puts it in his coat pocket or his pants pocket, something like that. And that's when Mrs. Johnson comes back over, like, oh, huh. I could have sworn I. She checks her pockets on her apron. I set my cigarettes down there. I walked. Where could they be? And David's like, I don't know. I wouldn't take them. I'm just going to go out. Maybe I'll look for Miss Winters. And just kind of just leaves her to Mrs. Johnson, just looking around, looking at the floor for her smokes. Jewel says, my brother took one of those lighters you were speaking of, the kind you put lighter fluid in. My brother used my mom's lighter to set the woods behind her house on fire. Oh my god! But by accident, right? He's not a pyro, is he? Goodness. That's how all these you hear about these like tragedies and circuses burning down. It's like, yeah, I'm sure 100% of the time, but some asshole with a cigarette tosses into the hay, and now suddenly everybody's got to go to a funeral. Oh my god. Can't have a pyro living with you in real life or in RimWorld. They will burn down your stuff. So we're at the old house. It's daytime, of course. David's, walking up, giant bag of groceries. Over in the drawing room, Matthew was still hiding with Victoria. Make sure he's got, gag tied around her mouth. Well, he was looking outside, saw David walking up, goes in there, makes sure she's all quiet. It lets her know, like, the food's coming. It's like, so even if you do make a noise, they can't hear you, they can't help you. So he, leaves her in the room, steps out. So Victoria's just in there listening. And we can hear it too, David walks in, so she didn't know who his friend was, so she's finding this out for the first time. And over in the drawing room, Matthew is saying, looks in the bag, where's the brandy? David's like, oh, I didn't think you'd want it for breakfast. So he says, letting him know Victoria's missing, and people think you have her. And Matthew laughs. He says, they want to blame me for everything. So David says, well, Victoria dropped her wallet when she was looking for me and never came back. I wish I could find her. Do you think my dad has her? Matthew says, well, after what Roger's done, he could do anything. He says, you got to be careful of people who have killed. It gets easier as it goes. Yeah, we know David's a little murderer too, so. So later on, Matthew is telling David, he's like, well, since everybody is out looking for me and Miss Winters, it's better if you just come here, once a day. Like, it sounds like David's been coming there more, just knock it down to once a day. So David wants to know the secret of the old house Matthew promised to tell him. Matthew says, not now. He's like, just stop bothering me about it. Get off my back. It's like, I'll tell you in a day or two. So it's like, okay. So he gets rid of David, goes back into the secret room. He takes the gag down from Victoria's mouth. She's like, that was David. That's not fair to him. Matthew says, whatever saves my neck is fair. It's like, are you hungry? Victoria says she's thirsty. So Matthew's going to go to the old well to get some water, but first he puts that gag back around her mouth. He goes into the drawing room. He's got to look outside the window first, which is very safe, smart thing to do. So he leaves out the front door. And then we see David going through the woods. He's up at that fence, that, busted down shortcut fence. And as he goes to try to climb over it or something, it's like he touches his pocket, he pulls out, he realizes he forgot the cigarettes and the matches. So he's thinking he's got to go back. So he goes back, and then we see outside of the old house, it's Matthew just slowly just walking away from the house. He's going off somewhere. So in the secret room, we see Victoria, and we hear, the door open. So she starts to try to just scream, say, David, I'm back here, trying to say something. But, like, that gag is just tight enough that we really, like, even if you were in the room, you can barely make out what she's saying. So how's he going to know? It probably doesn't even sound like words to him going through that bookcase. But she's trying to talk, she's trying to say something. And then we see the exterior of the old house again. And it is Matthew coming back to the old house. That well must not be too far away. And then we see the drawing room at the old house for the credits. Much as I want to trust my audio, I want to check it. Let's see. Back to the old house. Great. Nice. Stick it with me. All right. So that brings us to episode 121, which aired December 12, 1966. It's still that 19th day. Now, this is the first time they've ever reshot the last part of the prior episode. It's not like they're using like the same footage of Matthew Morgan going up the stairs holding that lantern. No, what they do here and what will happen almost every single episode later on is they'll take the last couple of minutes of the last episode. It's the same thing. It's the same dialogue, and the actors are usually still in the same place. But what's fun is when they reshoot something from the prior episode, and the actors are either in a different part of the room. Maybe a little bit of the dialogue has changed just to make it a little bit more snappy, just to recap the end of the prior episode. But what's great is when they refilm something, actors wearing like completely different clothing. Like, dude, you did not show up in that jacket at the end of that last episode. Like, how do you go from wearing a khaki coat to a red coat in, well, like different shirt, different pants? This isn't it, but it does happen later on, and I wish I knew why that happened. Do you just think that the colors look better on this actor with the other characters in the scene? What I don't know. I don't know. Was no one paying attention? Like, what were you wearing on Friday? I don't know. Did this? Oh, okay. Put it on. Get out there. So that's not quite what this is. Everybody's wearing the same clothing, but they really just took David re-entering the old house, and Victoria's tied up, and she's trying to say David's name, trying to get his attention, but he's just kind of hearing a noise, so he doesn't. He just knows there's a noise by the bookshelf. And it's just interesting to see the actor do the exact same thing. Like, maybe they did it better on day one, maybe they did it better on day two. It's like we're seeing like two separate takes, so that's kind of fun. But it is daytime still. We're in the drawing room. And David is hearing a voice behind that bookshelf. And as he's, getting closer and just trying to look, when you hear a sound and you can't tell if it was a voice, if it was human or what, it's like that. He can't even figure it out, because as soon as he's close to the bookshelf, there's Matthew who just came in. And he's pissed off. Why'd you come back? David just, I thought we would want these. Shows him the cigarette and the matches, or cigarettes. It's not just one. And Matthew sees that. Oh, yeah, I could go for a smoke. Sure, you didn't smoke some of those, did you? And David's like, no. I heard a voice behind that wall. I can't forget it. Matthew doesn't like the sound of that. David said, I know the secret. It's a ghost. And Matthew cracks up. LOLs. It's like, you're right. This house is full of ghosts. And ghosts to be. And he gets a laugh out of that David doesn't understand. So later on, we are over in the living room at Collinwood. Liz is wearing a dress. I wrote, it's got a sewn-on collar with a bow and the pattern. It's like specifically they sewed on this extra piece, like a plain fabric, no design for the dress part. But just the collar, it's got some kind of colorful pattern on it, and like a bow, a bigger bow off to the side that's just part, like nothing hangs down from it, it all just stays on the collar, but like it's specifically sewn on there. It's not to close the dress, it's just a feature. And it is just like a plain, just gray dress, long sleeved. Mrs. Johnson's in there talking about they'll never find Miss Winters alive. Not with Matthew out there. He's crazy. And Liz just can't believe it. Matthew never caused me any trouble. And she feels sorry for him. And Mrs. Johnson, she just can't shake the feeling. Just a death is around. Like she can sense it. But over in the foyer, the sheriff showed up. He's there to see Liz. And Mrs. Johnson is not happy to see him. Watch her here. It's like, oh, you haven't found Miss Winters yet, have you? You couldn't find her with 50 eyewitnesses. It's like, there's a murder out there, and this is the protection we get? Like, this man cannot even get to the middle of the room. Like, she's just reading this dude the riot act with every single step. And, like, he's like, well, I'm here to see Mrs. Stoddard. She's like, uh-huh. Just giving him all kinds of shit. You couldn't find Bill Malloy's killer. Now you're not gonna find. She just has no faith in the cops. Great scene. Watch her in that. But he finally gets about halfway into the room. That's when Liz is, oh, you're here, cool, come on in, come on inside. So Mrs. Johnson's just, not in the scene anymore. She probably goes into the kitchen. She can't go smoke a cigarette. But the sheriff is saying that he thinks Matthew is still in the state. So he's going to leave a few cops on the property. And he's called up to Bangor State Police and asked them to search the hotels, hospitals, taxis, buses, trains, just looking for anybody who resembles Victoria. And Liz is like, do you really think he would harm her? Sheriff's like, he might. And he sort of admits there's not very much hope for finding Victoria. Not quite so harsh like Mrs. Johnson. We're never going to see her alive again, but he's just trying to cushion the blow. Like, don't get your hopes up. So over by the front door, David's back. But he walks in, and when the sheriff came in, he handed his hat to Mrs. Johnson, and she just set it on the table there. So David sees that. And Mrs. Johnson comes into the room. It's like, yeah, both noticing that hat there, and David asks if he has any clues. Mrs. Johnson says, when the cannery whistle blows at noon, he knows it's time for lunch. That's a clue to him, and that accounts for the size of him. This guy is... I may have mentioned it before, but he's of a size where I'm sure his doctor has a lot to talk to him when he goes in for his checkups. A couple of the buttons on the front of his shirt should get paid extra because they're doing everything they can to keep it closed. He's got some extra weight on him. And Mrs. Johnson sure brought it up. He really, honestly, if that was my friend, I'd be like, hey, can you, slow down a bit? I'm not trying to see you have a heart attack in the next 5 or 6 years. That won't be fun for me. But now she asks David about her missing cigarettes. And she's like, come here. And she grabs his hand, and she's looking at his hand. He's like, well, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I was trying to see if your fingers were yellow from smoking. So David said, Mrs. Johnson, if I wanted cigarettes, I wouldn't steal them. I'd buy them. He walks off. Now, to hear that in 2025, it blows your mind. Like, oh, children can't buy cigarettes. What the hell? But what you don't realize is that, and I've heard stories like this from people before who were, kids in the 60s, let's say. It was nothing for mom, dad, grandpa, aunt, whoever, give them, how much were cigarettes back then? A quarter? Here's 50 cents, go run up to the corner store and grab me a couple of packs of smokes, and they would just sell them to children because they assumed kids would just be honest and give them to their parents. But we know what was really going on. They tried to get everybody to smoke so they'd have the health problems they do now. That's why they thought nothing about selling cigarettes to children. But when you're trying to be like a law-abiding, thinking person, oh my god, selling cigarettes to children, I can't believe they did that back in the day. They clearly don't care about anybody's health, not even back then. That's why you see so much smoking in movies. I watched the clock and I thought Judy Garland was on fire. Oh no, she's just smoking a damn cigarette for breakfast. Oh my god. So yeah, and he's 9 years old. I'm sure if you can walk and talk and ask for a pack of Lucky Strikes or Camels, they would sell them to you. That's the thing too. These cigarettes, I don't know when they started putting filters on them, but these are unfiltered cigarettes, so they're shorter. So Mrs. Johnson goes back into the kitchen. David walks into the living room. The sheriff's sitting down. David just says hi, and he's, Sheriff, what does it mean when the cannery whistle blows? Sheriff says, lunch. Why? David said, no reason. Where do you think Matthew is? Sheriff's like, oh, someone could be hiding him, and that person would be an accessory after the fact, and they would go to jail. So that's news to David. He didn't think, helping someone would get him in trouble. And just then Liz comes in. She's the sheriff had asked for a picture of Victoria, and Liz said, "Oh, Carolyn took some recently." She comes back with I don't even know if we can see it. It's just a little snapshot photo. So the sheriff gets that, cool. Got something for the wanted papers. He takes off. Patrick said we could all buy cigarettes here in Britain until the late 70s. Wow. Get out of school on your first day at kindergarten, you're like, oh man, that was rough. I could really use a smoke. Oh, these are 15 cents. This is fine. These are never going to be. I don't even know how much cigarettes are. An insane amount. They don't even get you high. I've smoked a cigarette or two. But the sheriff leaves, and David's saying to Liz, I thought it was good to help people. Liz says, well, not if they've done something wrong. David says, is there a secret about the old house walls? Liz is like, why? David, just because I like the old house is all. I was just wondering if it had any secrets. I'm going out. Oh, Erica, what's up? Glad you made it. Smash that like button right meow. Oh, saying that was a great sad movie. The Reader that he brought up before. Erica, yeah, there you go. Yeah, cigarettes were in vending machines. As a kid, you could buy them for your parents. Yeah, the vending machine is not asking for ID. So it just, yeah. And then but people around my age, it just seemed like people that hung out together seemed to also smoke cigarettes. And they were also always broke and asking for money. And I never got into cigarettes. I was around cigarette smoke too much as a kid. That shit's disgusting. Yeah, the Reader. Yeah, damn, I'm gonna have to check out the Reader. I can remember that. I like books. I miss reading. Over in the foyer, there's Mrs. Johnson. Before David can even get out the door, there she is grabbing him up. Where are my cigarettes? And I think you're up to something. But he's just, leave me alone. Stop bothering me about it. God, it just takes off. Stop asking me the same question, woman. Don't go out and buy more. Again, how much were cigarettes back then? You know how many packs you can get for $1? Just the hell. At one point, David kind of gets sassy with her, like, should you be smoking while you're at work? And she's like, that's not the point. But David goes, we see him walking up to the old house. And then he gets inside. And he doesn't see Matthew there. He doesn't see anybody in there at first. But I forget exactly where Matthew pops out from, but suddenly he's just there in the room, and it kind of shocks David. Just, what? Wow, you must have been in a great hiding place. Where were you hiding? None of your business. And David's saying that, well, the sheriff said that there's only a few cops left on the grounds, and Mrs. Johnson thinks I stole her cigarettes. Matthew said, don't take another chance like that again. And then David says, well, the sheriff said that if someone helps you, they'd be an accessory after the fact. Matthew said, that's lawyer talk, just to scare you. David's getting really worried. He's like, you wouldn't tell on me, would you? It's like, because I don't want to go to jail. He just kind of slumps down on a chair. He's really upset about that. And we see the drawing room for the credits. Oh, Patrick's saying I think you'd probably get it on YouTube free. Let me look for that. I think that's a good place to stop for here. I've got less than 15 minutes. That's a bit not quite enough. I don't want to rush through. Oh man, I wrote down a lot. What happens in the next episode? Now I gotta select the end of this notebook. Oh, the reader. From 2008. I'll click on it. Oh yeah, it says Kate Winslet. Yeah. Buy or rent. Oh, with Ray Fiennes. He's good. The reader. Let's try Tubi. Tubi is where you can watch Dark Shadows for free right now. Link in the description for the show and for the channel. The reader. Search. Oh, do they have it here? Yeah, they've got it on Tubi. 2008. I won't read the synopsis. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Oh, they've got Eyes Wide Shut. Oh, I'll be sure to not watch that. Oh, yeah. Well, it starts out with post World War II Germany. Okay, I'm into World War II, so that'll be interesting, possibly accent. So yeah, that's 2 hours 4 minutes. That's not bad. Gonna save that. Cool. And then when you type in a movie, it gives you the weirdest suggestions for other films. And a lot of films on Tubi are just like B movies you've never heard of and probably never wanted to hear of. Because I typed in The Reader, and literally the second film that comes up right next to it, it's something called Boobs with a like drawn pair of tits. So what the hell happens in this film? That's okay. I'm not I mean, I sat through all the Game of Thrones. I like Quill, so it's fine if people are getting nude and engaging in adult activities. Up to a certain point, I'm not trying to watch a Hollywood film that's all a bunch of like, sex scenes because after a while it's going to start to look fake and it's going to take me out of the movie and I'm going to start laughing at it and something like that. You look it up online and people are talking about what like the love and romance in a film and I'm thinking like what the movie with the silly sex scenes like no, like edit that down. Patrick says it's an excellent film. It's gotta be. I've never seen a Kate Winslet film that she did a bad job in. I've never even go back to watch something like Heavenly Creatures before people really knew who she was, like stuff like that. She was good back then. Is it Finding Neverland? I think it is. A one with Johnny Depp, and he's the guy who uh, Barry, the guy who wrote Peter Pan, um, just talking about his personal life, or like something like the kids he was writing the story for actually were the kids of this lady, and she's sick. She's got like this terrible cough, and Kate Winslet, like, just, I don't know what phlegm situation they had going on, but every time this woman coughs, everybody notices it. Like, I'm worried about her too, and just, it was, I don't remember too much about that film other than I liked it. I would watch it again. There's it does get memed. There's a Johnny Depp and a kid sitting on a bench in the film, and that scene is used in memes. So that's even if you don't care about the film and you care about memes, watch it for that. That's why I liked when I watched Heather's for the first time in years. I did not realize there's so many memes in that film now, or just lines like lick it up, baby, lick it up. I didn't remember it was from that film, but you see it online places. Like, it's got a lot more memes in it than I remember. Plus, you gotta love it because that's something they could never do today unless you wanted to make a no budget film based on Heather's. There's no way we're gonna see. Thankfully, there's no way we're gonna see a remake of that. They'd have to water it down way too much. Patrick, there you go. Our British girls don't mind getting their tits out. LOL. Yeah, just like we all saw Titanic. It's like, okay, there they are. I hope it's warm in there. Um, good for you. Defying gravity. I don't know what to say. After so long, I see a woman's chest so much, and it's like, I've seen them before. I know. I don't need to see how they've aged. Like, I don't need to keep. You don't have to keep showing me your chest every few years, ma'am. It's I know, I know. That's why when you watch Outlander, I've seen that woman's chest so much. Like, that's plenty. I'm not sleeping with you. I just, oh, okay. I don't understand why, like, this chick just has to have the girls out all the time. Like, they do it less often as the seasons went on, but or I think they were just really trying to get Game of Thrones crowd in there. So it's like, hey, we're casting for this Netflix thing. No, it was on Stars. We're casting for the Stars thing. You have to be an English girl who takes her top off. I don't know if you know who's really. I don't know if she's really English, or if somebody's like playing a different. I was gonna say gender. That's not right. Different nationality, but it's like, sure, whatever. I'll whip him out. I've seen him enough. Thank you. I just like same with Madonna. I've seen. I can look at that woman's chest and tell you what year the photo was taken because she's always got the girls out. I get it. I've seen them. That's fine. I don't need an update. Oh, the English Patient. Mm. The English Patient won the Oscar one year, and it really shouldn't have because something. I'm sure something better. Back when I watched the Oscars every single year, would not miss them. The English Patient uh Oscar win. Maybe that'll tell me. Cause what else was nominated that year? At the at the 69th Academy Awards. All right. In 97. Okay. 69th Academy Awards. Is it gonna tell me? Who else was nominated? Oh, that's what about because Avita came out in 1996. Holy shit. I forgot about that. Winners and nominees. Okay, well, I haven't seen Fargo or Shine. Okay, uh, this is not gonna tell me what I don't need pictures of these people. Okay, 69th. Oscars Best Picture nominees. Okay, I know English. Here we go. Will this tell me? I don't think it will. Oscars wiki? Okay, everything's got a wiki. All right. Uh, Best Picture. Okay. Oh, I don't. Okay. Well, Best Picture. The winner was The English Patient. Nominated was Fargo, Jerry Maguire, Secrets and Lies, Shine. Okay, I haven't seen any of those. Oh well, maybe The English Patient is a good movie. Okay. Maybe I'm just being a hater. I know that Sean Penn should not have won the Oscar for Best Actor. That should have gone to Johnny Depp for playing Captain Jack Sparrow, but I guess somebody needed a fucking suck for their go there for their statue. I don't care about what awards it won. I just look up the damn film. The English Patient. Thank you. 2 hours 42 minutes. All right, that's kind of long for back then. Okay. End of World War II. Something, something, something. Don't want to spoil a film this old. I'm not signing in. You sign in. Starring. Oh, it's got Willem Dafoe. Hell yeah. Okay, people. Colin Firth. Who did the score? Fucking Weinstein's. Okay. Huh. Yeah, thanks. Jenny Gutter in Walkabout. Good film, too. I have not heard about that. Yeah, it's okay if it's rated R. It's okay if you have sex in your films. Just don't make it too silly or drag it out too long, or else you're gonna just. It's gonna be ridiculous. Maybe we're too desensitized from things being too sexualized, but yeah. There are episodes of Outlander you can straight up skip because they spend the entire time in bed, tits out. Like, I can draw them from memory, ma'am. I've seen them enough. Thank you. There's not three of them. So yeah, it seems like I got through an episode in 2 hours. Yeah, Shine is for Jeffrey Rush lovers. That's why I haven't seen it, but Jeffrey Rush can do no wrong. Oh my god, he's so good. Oh my god, he's so good. He's so good. Oh my god. I named my kitten Captain Hector Barbosa because of Jeffrey Rush, so he knows what he's. Oh man, he's so good. Watch Who Do You Think You Are with Jeffrey Rush. His is very interesting. They're an hour long. They follow a celebrity, tracing their genealogy to find out where they're from. His was really good. But we owe you, Bill Cooper said it was great to be here with you, Nikki. Yeah, it was great to be here with you guys. It was great to see you guys. It was great that my equipment let me do this in 2 hours. Uh, so everybody, take it easy, get some good sleep, get something to eat, smoke out on the balcony, check out some Dark Shadows for free. It's also on the Internet Archive. I've got that linked in the description for the channel and for the show. You can buy the box set on DVD. That's north of $400. It's worth it if you have an obsession. If not, just watch it for free. That's okay. The shirt is Grace Still Plays, Not Today's Satan. Link in the description as well. Not affiliated, just a huge fan of the guy. And yeah, I will definitely be seeing you guys in a chat room this week coming up. It's a 4-day week, and then the weeks after that are off for some few extra days on for me because of some holidays. But I love seeing you guys again. Thank you for giving me a platform where I can see you guys at least once a week and we can chill out here. John Rogers said, have a great night, everyone. Yeah, you too. Check out some movies. And just take it easy. Patrick said, lots of Brits start with Shakespeare. Yeah, kind of can't help, but he's from that area. Thomas Collins says, thanks, everyone. Take care, Nikki. Yeah, you guys take care, too. Stay warm. Stay sexy, stay based, keep your finger off of the trigger, especially when you're pointing it right at the camera. The cameraman does not appreciate that. But you guys are the best. I love you guys.